Hi everyone, welcome back to Video Visions. Today we're going to do take 5, which talks about the backwards lesson design. As you noticed, I made my video a little bit smaller. You can do that by just clicking on the corners and it gives you the arrows. And I gave myself a cute little backdrop so that way, if you know that you're going to have your video on, you can kind of have a space for it, a space saver on your slides so that none of the content gets behind it and you're lacking that when you're talking to your students. So I'm going to go away for a minute. I will come back at the end, but I did want to say hi. Okay, so we're going to get back to our blueprint for success. And this is the way every strategy is going to be laid out that relates to content. So we are focusing on 1A today, the backwards design and the planning process for your amazing lessons. So we're going to talk about the dream, the plan, and the reflection. So let's talk about a dream. I know that so many times I think and wonder what it would be like to have a utopian lesson. And we talk about, kids would be collaborating, my questioning would be on point, all the kids would leave the session able to apply my new knowledge that I just taught them. They were supplying feedback to each other. The activities were engaging and connected with my students' interests. So let's talk about making that dream a reality. So I've been attending a lot of professional development conferences over the last couple of weeks online. And someone talked about a lesson plan is something that is housed on a document, a Word document, a Google Doc, things like that. Lesson designing is when we start with the students in mind when we're planning for live lessons. So you may have heard of the begin with the end in mind phrase. And if so, that's what we talk about when we discuss the universal backwards design. You start your planning by thinking about what result you want, and then you go from there. So this graphic right here talks about the 3 different stages of backwards design. In the first step, you're going to need to identify your desired result. What is it that I want the kids to be able to walk away with knowing? The second step, you're going to want to identify your evidence to determine how those students will demonstrate that knowledge. And then finally, you'll get to the fun stuff and plan the learning experience, including all those instructional activities. So let's talk about a plan on how to do it. So when we get that evaluation pre-planning document, the biggest feedback I got from the ILs was we need to brag about ourselves more. Remember, they don't pop in and out of our classroom all the time like principals did in brick and mortar. So this is your time to put into words all those shining moments. Don't forget also about what technology you have used past Blackboard, like maybe you did a Screencastify help tutorial. What have you used past Blackboard to enhance your learner's experience? Keep track of these things throughout the year, whether it's in OneNote, whether it's in Google Keep, so that you can look back and gather evidence to showcase yourself. So let's talk about some of these key ideas to consider when beginning to plan for your lesson design. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we discuss, using my tools, how survey data from prior lessons has assisted in my future planning. What things have I done to make sure that I've updated or changed my future lessons based on my past lessons? Also, address how you handle misconceptions. What kinds of things have you done to make sure that those students are not going to have any hiccups and that they know what prior knowledge they need in order to be successful? Explain how movables or other strategies are going to be used in order to increase that student engagement. Focus on the planning and ideas that went into the lessons. What resources did you utilize? What things have you created? What websites have you searched through and are using and utilizing? All that planning and time needs to be placed in that document. Then you need to discuss any gradual release. What kind of modeling are you doing? And what kind of gamifying up of the lesson content have you included? Are you theming it up? Have you used Kahoot, quizzes, Socrative? What websites or things are you using to have those kids take it to the next level? So let's talk about planning paths. And, so many times we take different paths so that we can get to our end result, but none of them are incorrect. So use whatever planning method or planning template you need to find success. So whether you're creating a lesson from scratch or using a template from a peer, make it your own and give it your own personal educator's touch. These are all clickable links that are accessible on my site underneath the Video Visions tab that can help you in that planning design stage. The backwards design template hosts many different kinds of thinking questions that will help you. CPOEMs has a load of standards and activities for every content area. These are some more that I just learned about, these hyperdocs, in some of the newest technology conferences and professional developments that I've been attending. Please reach out if you want assistance on using any of them. Last but not least, most importantly, is the reflection. So we think about our teaching, we talk to our peers about it. You may think your lesson went well, students understood, they didn't understand, they weren't participating. But without more time spent focusing on discussing what has happened, we don't ever change the outcome. So use some of these different reflective questions when you're reflecting on your lesson to help you engage and update for the next time. Because remember, we don't learn from experience, we learn from reflecting upon that experience. So, as always, thank you so much for stopping by and visiting with me today. I'm super excited to see what you are going to start building. Please remember that all of my video visions are housed on my Google site and have their own tab, and please reach out for support anytime. Thanks for stopping by. Chat soon.